Hi, my name is Rob Dyke. I'm part of the Open GPSoC project.
I'm Ewan Davis. I'm another of the original triumvirate of the Open GPSoC project.
And I'm the third. I'm Marcus Bohr.
And it was his idea.
I'm a locum GP. I work with clinical systems every day, and as a locum I work with all the different clinical systems. And I found that I felt that there was considerable lag between where the cutting edge of computing could be, or is, and where current clinical systems in use in the NHS are. I'm a fan of open source software, and I felt that there might be a way of producing an open source GP clinical system that would give us some of the better functionality and open up some of the boundaries of what can be done. At the same time, improving things such as vendor lock-in, which is a major problem for GPs.
What we didn't want to do is build an open source version of something that's just like the existing GP systems, but to actually build an open platform, an ecosystem in which a whole range of components can be deployed to work together, both open source and closed source. We want it to be a commercially friendly environment, but what we want to avoid is the current major problems that we have in GP computing. The first is a vendor lock-in, where you get stuck with a particular vendor, and as iSoft users have found recently, at the mercy of a decision taken very distant in the US to no longer support your product. So we want to absolutely avoid vendor lock-in, and we also want to address the problem of system migration. When you move from one system to another, in the current model you go from system A to system B, and you face serious business continuity problems for 18 months maybe. So we wanted to build an environment where you break things down vertically, so you're separating data about patients from information about services and resources, and also vertically, so you're breaking those big monolithic applications, so that in the future world your system can continuously evolve as requirements change. So it's about building that ecosystem for which we have broader ambitions. And so we're at the very early stages. We have a town hall meeting on the 8th of December, and we hope to thrash some of the details out there. So this is our first public presentation,
outing.
Really. Outing, yeah.
First public outing talking about the project at the moment here at EHI on the Skunkworks today.
Well, we're keen to work with some of the other people around here, and indeed we're already talking to lots of them. To Vista, to Smart, to Open Eyes project, because in order to meet this challenge we have to be able to reuse and recycle as much as what's already out there, because the critical thing is it's about creating an open environment where people can get at the data, and if they have a good idea they can deploy it rather than waiting for the long cycles that we have to achieve. And we're hoping that the NHS will respond by helping take down some of the barriers they've erected, which have made the market very, very difficult to enter. We've not had a new entrant into the GP market now for 25 years, and it's become very concentrated and it's no longer functioning, and we want to fix that broken market.
I think one of the first things people come and ask us is if we've had our sanity checked recently. But I think as a group, we're pretty sane, well-balanced individuals, really. Obviously, the idea is a big, hairy, audacious goal, but it's those sorts of goals which have built some of the biggest technology companies at the moment. I mean, Google started out in a garage with a computer with two people with a mission to organise the world's information, and that's pretty big. I think though with the GPSoC platform, although it's a big goal, it's an achievable goal. It is realistic. We can actually work with the clinicians and the developers and the centre on their requirements, and this is something that is doable in a reasonable time frame. I think we could certainly, with the networks that we've been building whilst we're here, when we're talking about it with other people, I think we could really do it.
We can see what the broad components are. We need some sort of repository to store patient records. We think probably Open EHR represents the way forward there. We need somewhere where we can store protocols and patient pathways. We think that Proforma and Open Clinical possibly offer a route there. We know that we'll need some sort of enterprise service bus to facilitate messaging and communication, and we think
we think probably Mule ESB is something would be a really good product to use for that. It's a good open source platform, and we know that it's in use with a number of NHS organisations already. So we hope from that they'll be able to share some of the code that they've been developing to solve their interoperability requirements to bring into the Open GPSoC project. And again, so reducing the effort, recycling the code, and sharing that widely around the health economy.
And we hope to build some front-end components very much sort of browser-based.
Indeed we do.
You know, so that whatever platform you want to run it on, you can. So I think, generally we've had a very positive and supportive reaction, except from the obvious places where there's a vested interest. But quite a lot of disbelief that we can pull it off. But as Rob says, you need a big, fat, hairy, audacious goal, don't you?
Yeah, you can do it.
The website is the starting point, www.opengpsoc.org. And if you're listening to this before the 8th of December, come along to the town hall meeting.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter, do all the usual things, Open GPSoc.